And so when I look at training protection dogs, I tend to look at it typically a little bit different than most trainers because I don't look at it as being about being a dog trainer. I look at myself as a martial arts teacher when I'm training dogs for personal protection. I look at it as being, I'm a martial arts teacher, and my students right now these days are dogs. But at the same time, a lot of my students are actually people too, because they're having to learn. A lot of people that get into wanting a protection dog and working with the protection dog, they don't have a background that helps them understand the mentality necessary to stand up to somebody. And so it can be difficult. Sometimes it's easy to believe that, well, it's a dog, so it's always going to have the courage and the confidence in which to stand up to somebody. And that's not necessarily true. The reality is that most dogs do not naturally have it. But like people, they can learn it. It's just like most people don't have the confidence to stand up to a bully. Most people don't have the confidence to stand up to somebody who's trying to hurt them on assault. And most people don't have it naturally. No, don't get me wrong. There are some people out there that are just born warriors. They have the genetics, and they don't care. They've never been afraid to stand up, and they've never been afraid to fight. But for the most part, most people have to learn. I'm not going to act like I was born with it. I was a scared, ugly little kid, and my mom was wise enough. She put a check in my hand one day and said, "Here, you're going around to the corner to the corner karate school. You're going to take karate." And I was like, "Okay," scared to death. And I walk in, and he's like, "Yeah, can I help you?" And I give him the check. My mom says I have to take karate, and he takes the check and he pops it. Cool, and he throws me a gi, a karate uniform, and he says the locker room's in the back, go get changed. And I come out first time, belt's all sloppy tied. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And from the time I stepped out of the locker room until he said everybody fall in, everybody was jumping at me, kicking at me, punching at me. I was fighting from the very minute. Hated fighting. Well, you know what? When you're losing, it's real easy to hate fighting. I didn't really enjoy the combat arts until I actually started winning a few times here and there. Well, and not necessarily winning the whole match, but, at least getting a couple of good tags in at least made me feel like, hey, this shit isn't all for nothing. I'm not just doing this and just to come here and get my ass kicked every day. So it took a while for me to actually get into it and realize that, yeah, it's not killing me. It's not killing me. But please understand, if you're going to a really serious martial arts school, if any type of unarmed combat school, it's going to be a physical thing. And the same thing happens with the dogs. And so we're teaching the owners as well as the dogs about combat. And getting a dog to that level, it means that your responsibility goes up sky high. Having a dog that's trained in combat is so much more challenging in the fact that your responsibility goes way up. It is like walking around with a gun or some type of a weapon that has its own mind and can move on its own. And so the whole job is to teach the dog, not only are you to obey me, but you have to be able to assess situations.